Hello, hi, howdy. I have previously done the Batman vs. Darth Vader video review, and I promised to do the one for the alternate ending, so that's what I'm doing now. Last time, Darth Vader won, so I'm assuming Batman's going to win, which is, frankly, would have been my bet anyways. Batman, notoriously known that if he's going to go into, my apologies, if he is going to go into a fight with a chance to be prepared, there is very little that can stop him. I mean, he is from a universe that he walks alongside gods, basically. Okay, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash aren't really gods, but, you know, basically. But he's a normal human without superpowers of himself, unless you count money as superpower, which is not really. So comparing Darth Vader versus Batman, once again, similar martial experience. I mean, completely different fighting styles, but I would say they both know plenty of different fighting styles. Ray, please don't. My cat's wanting to get involved. Both know enough different fighting styles to counter and to adjust for how the opponent's fighting. So I think they're pretty equal in that part. Batman, if he's going into a fight prepared, he's going to have a suit again. I think he's dealt with energy weapons, plasma weapons enough that even if it is not completely lightsaber resistant, it is, proof it's going to be resistant. So it would be very difficult for a lightsaber to damage through the armor onto flesh, at least in more than one, in only one strike. It would take multiple strikes to hurt him. And he's dealt with enough different magic users, which in my belief, magic is just science unexplained. What we consider a firearm now, a couple hundred years ago, would have been magic. So we already partially are given an explanation of how the Force works. It's through the midichlorians. How the midichlorians allow an individual to do what they do, it doesn't say. But we've at least got somewhat of a scientific basis, because they can use technology to detect how many midichlorians are in a person's body, and the more midichlorians someone has, the more force potential they have. So there's definitely some science behind it. So I would think that Batman would be able to have some amulet or ward or something that, even if it didn't make himself completely immune to direct force attacks like force lightning, force choke, it would at least make him, here goes my cat, resistant to them. So again, I just honestly, as much as I prefer the Star Wars universe over DC, I don't see Batman, Darth Vader really standing a chance against Batman, because Batman's going to have top of the line armor to face Darth Vader. Darth Vader, while his cybernetics are better than the market average in the Star Wars universe, his armor is definitely better than your average person could buy off the market. Palpatine made sure not to give him the best. He didn't want him to have the best. He intentionally gave him weaknesses in his armor so that Vader could never rise up against Palpatine. And honestly, I don't think the DC Universe technology would be that off. I mean, they have spaceships and advancements, and the general universe wouldn't be the same level, but I think that Batman would have access to technology on par with Star Wars, and he would have the best. So I just don't see Vader standing much of a chance. Okay, and this is a superpower beatdown. Darth Vader versus Batman. Bat in the Sun. So definitely go and support the original creators. Show them love. I'm just reviewing their video with my own little commentaries. So let's watch it. And I did cut out the beginning, just to save time.
Darth Vader has captured one of the most powerful men alive. Superman, to force a power trade with Darkseid of Apocalypse. After interrogating suspects in Mos Eisley, I discovered that the space mercenary, Boba Fett, used a kryptonite-powered lightsaber to aid Darth Vader in the capture of Superman.
I guess I didn't hear that before.
With the rest of the Justice League occupied.
I don't recall this part being voiced on the first one. Maybe I skipped over it. Entirely possible. But a kryptonite-powered lightsaber. Now that's interesting. Are they saying that a chunk of kryptonite could function on the same level as a kyber crystal? Because I know there's all kinds of different types of kryptonite, so that's actually kind of frightening thinking of... Because I know they all have different effects. And some can affect normal people too. So that... just what they could do to a Kryptonian like Superman or to normal people. That's just an interesting idea.
It is now up to me to save Superman and prevent the forging of an intergalactic alliance that could enslave the universe.
Okay, and I'm sorry, Darkseid would crush Vader or Sidious. I mean, he's Thanos level. Actually, he's more powerful than Thanos. Again, you're comparing DC to any other universe. I don't really see where Darkseid would need an alliance with the Empire. I mean, you got to have some kind of mechanism, some story lore to make this fight actually happen, but yeah, I don't really like that one. So here we see again Batman in his bat spaceship.
Superman's distress signal is coming from that small moon.
That's no moon. Initiate cloaking mode.
Again, he obviously has preparation. He knows what he's getting into. Cloaking technology is not unheard of in the Star Wars universe. And Batman would definitely have the best. And while you would think the Emperor would put the best on the Death Star, the economics behind building one Death Star, let alone two, he probably couldn't always have all the best equipment on there that he could have. Probably mostly focused on the weaponry itself.
I've located Superman.
Excellent. Then it looks like you're good to go.
There's something else I need.
Now here's a thought. Right, move.
This episode of Superpower Beatdown is brought to you by Loot Crate.
Where was I?
That's no moon.
Okay, that's about where I was. Sorry, I'm not gonna restart just because my cat got involved. I have cats. There. Anyways, if Batman knew that he was going to go to the Death Star, which he did, he knew there was a chance there would be a Force user on the Death Star. Of course there was. If not Vader, if not Sidious, and at least some Inquisitors or something. And if kryptonite can be used to make a lightsaber, which according to this lore, it can be, then why didn't he make a lightsaber ahead of time to be ready for this fight? Again, I would think he would have already had one ready, and one that would fit his grip, and honestly, I get the feeling a kryptonite-powered lightsaber would be more powerful than your average kyber crystal one. So back to this part. Again, I apologize for my cat, you know. Cats are nature's buttholes.
Oracle, I've located Superman.
Excellent. Then it looks like you're good to go.
There's something else I need.
My lord, sensors indicate a breach of security in your armory.
He's here for the Kryptonian. Lock down cell blocks 3 and 4, and leave the rest to me.
Again, I have no doubt that Batman could sneak through the Death Star without being detected at all.
I'm approaching Superman's location.
And at the point that Vader's armory was breached, he just didn't care enough at that point to be superseded.
You've made a mistake coming here.
Release Superman. Why you still can.
You do not know the power of the dark side.
I'll take my science over your magic any day. Let's see how...
Again, I believe that magic is just science unexplained. But again, Vader's suit is not obviously protected against electricity. Sidious intentionally did that. So it is very easy to see how an EMP pulse would slow down Vader. He just has to wait for his suit to reboot, and he'll have to rely on the Force to keep him going until then.
How well you breathe now.
The Force will sustain me long enough.
Exactly. Better focused on you than me.
And again, Batman would have done that intentionally because he knows how powerful Vader is, or at least would have heard. And as long as Vader would have to be using the Force to keep himself alive, he couldn't use it as offensively as he could have. Very tactful maneuver by Batman. Could easily see him doing that. And I didn't notice this the first time, but right here it showed Batman's gloves having, looks like electricity on them. Again, very tactical decision on Batman's case. How he would know that Vader's suit would be vulnerable to electricity, I have no idea. That would not be a widely known secret. I mean, it was probably a last-minute decision even by Sidious, because he grabbed Vader, because he wasn't really Anakin at that point, on the shore on Mustafar, and had to get him rebuilt rather quickly just to keep him alive. So it's not like turning Anakin, well, Vader, into Darth Vader, the cyborg, was really Sidious's intent all along. So I'm really wondering how Batman would have known, or maybe it's just a coincidence. I'll go with it being a coincidence.
You underestimated me.
I underestimate nothing.
And that is absolutely true for me.
You cannot win.
Vader's suit is rebooted. Now he can use the Force.
Wasted your opportunity to defeat me.
As offensively as he wanted to, or as he could.
You will die.
And there's the part, and I think I even mentioned this before in the other version, is Batman knew he was going to face a Force user. And I think he would have had something, either an additional item under his armor or built into his armor, that would have given him some resistance against direct Force attacks, such as Force choke. I mean, obviously being thrown by the Force, that's telekinesis. And I don't think the armor would necessarily protect against that, but I don't think Force choke itself would really be that effective against Batman, because I think his armor would have an inherent protection built in. Now this is where it should change from the previous version. This is the same. We see that Batman quickly got into a ship, primes 4 missiles, and fires them directly into Vader.
Your theatrics will not help you.
How's this for theatrics?
Again, we expect Vader to survive this. His armor is damaged, but he is still alive. Fully expected. But how does this end differently? It would make sense that Batman would not have any kind of protection on his ship against the Force. But what makes this an alternate ending? Ship blows up, same as before. Batman is being held in the air.
Your science did not defeat me.
It wasn't supposed to.
Oh, that's interesting. He set an explosive to free Superman. Then Superman gets into the fight. Well, yeah. Vader versus Superman, that's not even a fight.
Thanks, Bruce. I owe you. I know.
That was definitely a twist I wasn't expecting.
What are you?
I'm Batman.
Head over to facebook.com/.
Yes, definitely go to their Facebook page, follow them, go to their YouTube page, all that. Yeah, I definitely like that ending more than the original ending. It just seems more in line with the power levels of the individuals involved. Again, I much prefer Star Wars over DC, but you cannot deny the power level of the DC characters. I mean, you put them together, unless you have some rule in place that is making it a level playing field, DC is going to win just about every single time. So with that, I will say long days and pleasant nights.